Welcome new friends and fellow Dreamcast Hub members. Big hello to those of you who are joining us from the Facebook group. If this is your first visit to the channel, I'm Steven and this channel is dedicated to making videos exclusively about the Dreamcast, focusing on hidden gems and indie titles. We also do hardware reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the Striker DC. Now in color. Now we will also be doing a teardown to see inside, but first, Retro Fighters is the family-owned game accessory company that brought us the incredible Brawler 64 and the original Striker DC. This will be our first look at this comfy-ass controller. We are doing a full in-depth review of that, and we will also do a teardown and see inside. But first, I wanted to thank Retro Fighters, the guys who provided us these 4 controllers for review. These are all the new colors that they carry currently, pretty amazing. These plus the white make the 5 colors available. As this is the first time we are getting our hands on this comfy ass controller, we will be doing a full in-depth review of this and the new colors. You got Dreamcast red, green, and blue. You also have the sexy black on black stealth fighter version. This would have been my favorite, hands down, if it had also black face buttons. It's just, they blacked out everything else, and it's such a great look. They did great choosing the translucent plastic. As someone with OCD, I feel like this is about as good as it can get as far as color matching 20-year-old colored plastic. If it were slightly more transparent with a less soft textured finish, would likely have been a 1-to-1 match, or at least close. Just makes me happy you can tell they put in the effort with their aesthetic decisions. I've put a bunch of visual comparisons together for you to look at. While the more soft satin finish gives the controller a bit less transparency than OEM, it definitely provides a pricier premium look and feel. Last note on the color, as with the original white controller, the yellow, UK blue, the off red, and that iconic pastel greenish teal have been replicated nicely. Wrapping my hands around this brilliant bastion of beautifully balanced backer funded buttons, we notice it's a bit lighter than you might expect given its premium look. But obviously, it's wired, so no battery, no weightiness. Now this is remedied by slapping a VMU and vibration pack in there, and the weight feels near perfect. I mean, I'm not sure why you want to have those in there to begin with. That the hell is wrong with you? Oh, I see you've noticed the 2 sets of R and L buttons, just like a modern controller. Shoulder buttons are great, but there's a reason most modern controllers have triggers and buttons, and anyone who's attempted a combo in King of Fighters that involves the R and L triggers knows what's up. Analog triggers are great when you want a gradual and measured activation of pressure, useful for feathering the gas pedal in a racing game like Arcade Racing Legends. I actually use these controllers for most of that review. Link to that review in the description. But triggers are awful for fighting games. So the Striker DC from Retro Fighters added 2 extra digital shoulder buttons with an instant micro switch like press, letting you know that if you failed a combo, it was 100% your fault. Also been playing the newest revision of Xenocider. These digital shoulder buttons are just miles better and more responsive when trying to quickly switch lanes to dodge incoming fire or oncoming enemies. The turbo feature is dope and heckin' easy to use. Just hit the turbo button, then press the button you wish to make turbo, and done. Works on the greatest game of all time, which is nice. Rapid fire time. The face buttons have a high quality look to them that feels premium. They use less bold, more refined typeface for a more modern appearance, less dirt in the cracks, which is also good. A very small part of me misses the little dot nubs on the original controller, but it shouldn't matter to anyone normal. The feedback feels precise and sure, even with a bit more travel than the OEM. Now, I may be alone on this, but I play shmups almost exclusively with the stock controller D-pad. Not sorry. When I'm in the middle of some bullet hell, I live and die by the snappiness and quality of a controller's D-pad. This one is leaps ahead of the taller OEM one. Lastly, it has this peppy bounce back up when you lift your thumb. Do you love the D-pad on your Switch Pro controller? You will love this one too. The placement of the turbo and clear buttons on the left and right of the VMU screen Reminiscent of PS4's share and options buttons is a very smart way to modernize this gamepad a step further. Even the start button goes right where the PS home button would be, but also right where I would expect it to be and retains that iconic shape. My favorite part of these three buttons though are that clicky press. Honestly, the biggest difference from the OEM though is the overall shape, as it's been slimmed down and made ergonomic to feel even better in my hands than the Switch Pro controller, which I have always regarded as the pinnacle of modern controllers. Even though, as a Switch collector and fanboy, I'll never forgive Nintendo for creating such a well-built, comfortable, gorgeous feat of engineering without including analog triggers. I mean, the damn Switch Wireless GameCube gamepad has analog triggers that actually work in most or all racing games on Switch. But in most games, other than Animal Crossing, the button mapping is wonky as f***. And here we are, 3 years later, still no Pro controller with usable triggers. It took a family-owned game accessory company to make a controller this comfortable with analog triggers for a console I actually care about. Looks like it's still true that Sega does what Nintendo don't, even if it's made by a third party. One last comparison to the Switch Pro gamepad, the analog stick in the Striker also uses a similar micro potentiometer to enhance precision and allow for a slimmer form factor. This has slightly less resistance by design. Took me a little bit to get used to, but once I did, I noticed less resistance also preferring the cardinal up, down, left, and right, giving you a much smoother transition to the intermediate diagonal directions, allowing for silky smooth half circles and uppercut. Now add to that the concave center and the textured soft rubber rim, and you wind up with a precise and comfy, well thought out stick design. Even the cable itself is built robustly. Doesn't look or feel cheap, but after everything else though, I'm not surprised. The plug is identical to the OEM. If it weren't for the color of the cable and the textured side on the original, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They even added a ferrite bead to prevent electromagnetic interference both to the VMU and from the controller. At just about double the length of the OEM cable and the addition of the ferrite choke, you are looking at a more reliable gamepad that can reach out and touch your Dreamcast with you comfortable on the couch. Also, increasing the lifespan further is the fact the cable is coming up out of the controller as opposed to down out of the controller like the original, which was a long-standing complaint of the Dreamcast. After taking a look at everything, this controller provides the Dreamcast player without a doubt the best and most versatile way to experience their old and new Dreamcast games, in my opinion. I know it's become my daily driver since they arrived. Obviously, there is a warm and fuzzy feeling using the original behemoth. The way the triggers are too far down the back and your thumb sometimes slides off the dimply convex analog stick, how it feels bulkier than it should, its inherent flaws and lack of ergonomic cohesion harkens back to a time when things were designed more for branding and excitement than practicality and comfort. This design philosophy does have its own beauty in my eyes, and always will. The Striker DC, however, I feel hits the perfect balance of beauty, comfort, build quality, and performance. Pragmatically speaking, it will be more responsive, easier to hold, and have even more versatility with added functionality of bumper-style shoulder buttons and turbo face buttons. Now available in 5 colors including the OG white and gray, it's a super easy choice to have the best time playing your old games. We can only hope that one day we will have wireless versions, but that would definitely take time. And also pink. I really want pink. Thank you to RetroFighters.com for providing these controllers to the Dreamcast Hub for review. They had not told me anything specific to say in the review, they had no input in it whatsoever. These are just my honest thoughts on a really good product. If you have one of these, let us know in the comments what you think of it. And if you don't have one yet, links to Retro Fighters' website, Twitter, and all that is going to be in the description. Links also in the description for our Twitter, our Facebook, the Facebook group you can join. We're up to like 5,000 members, something like that. And obviously check DreamcastHub.com. That has all of our social medias, all of our contests that are currently ongoing. Now, Arcade Racing Legends is out, so once you get your copy in the mail, for about a month on our Facebook group, we're going to be hosting a time trials contest where Josh Proud and Pixel Heart will be giving away 3 of their games to whoever gets the top 3 times. As I said, link to our Facebook group in the description. Go there, join up. You'll see the post. It'll be one of the pinned posts. If you like this video, please do us a huge favor, hit the like button, and subscribe if you want more videos like it. Drop a comment, have a great day. I love you, bye.